Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's time for Tough Love Tuesday, and I don't think it's going to be too tough today. We're going to be more talking about just some ways to help you get some local, wonderful food into your body that's going to help your health, also be more cost effective, and also help our environment by not having to have food shipped from so far away. But anyway, Tuesday night, and it is your personal journey with food broadcast, Tough Love Tuesday. If you're listening on the podcast, these are recorded live and had several things happen on live broadcasts. So bear with us if any funny noises happen or anything like that. So today, I did want to let you know, though, too, if you're watching this video, later, you can listen to all of these on podcast form. And so it's really exciting. You can listen in on Anchor, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Google, and many other platforms. So yeah, definitely check it out if you would rather be listening in. So with that, I was thinking about this too. We're going into summer in North America, and one of the best things we can do is learn how to eat with the seasons. So that's becoming a locavore. So a locavore means somebody that gets their produce and their food from the local area and eats mostly that way. So it's kind of a fun term that was made up. But I know that through the ease of going to a big supermarket and things like that, we can think that eating local may be kind of hard. But and it was interesting for me too, bringing in the thought of going to a Saturday market or something like that. My brain is so cued into going to the store to, say a Fred Meyer or a Costco or something like that, that I do still glitch a little bit thinking I just need to go down to the Saturday market. So I'm going to talk about a bit of stuff like that tonight and hopefully help you figure out how you can go ahead and become a locavore as well. So, eating, what does it mean to eat seasonal food? And again, that's just meaning that you're eating and buying food that is growing in season and basically really close to the time that you've harvested, that the food has been harvested. And that's actually when it's at its highest in its flavor, its highest with its peak of nutrition, all of those things. And so anyway, so that's just basically all it means, is that you're eating with the season. And it's something that as humans we used to always do until mass food production started happening, and when we allowed like mass production of bulk food being transported from, like, we import it from different countries, we import it from across the other side of our country. And so what we do now is that we've grown accustomed to limitless amounts of produce options. And I am also one of those. I love knowing that I can get an avocado any time of year, or I can get, a beet any time of year. But I have to stop and think sometimes, is that a good idea for us to always have it anytime we want it, any time of year? And so I'll be talking about that a bit. So until my sister and I started our garden, I really hadn't experienced this. But, if you think about it, have you ever eaten a tomato fresh off the vine, like in a garden, and tasted it? An apple. I know I've never had, well, yes, I did. Maybe as a kid. Yeah, I've eaten apple fresh off of a tree in my yard. And so what's incredible is that food just tastes so wonderful when it's fresh off of a vine or freshly picked, things like that. And so if we can, eat seasonally by choice, then we're more apt to have that fresh food, that's just been picked and delivered to us at a market or something like that. And also, not only is it sweeter and it tastes better, it's basically helping us with our health as well as helping our environment and our wallets, because when you eat things that are not in season, they usually cost more. So so basically, the other thing is eating seasonally and locally is basically the best option, because when we buy produce that's, grown far away, and that it has to travel either, like I said, across the ocean, or it has to come across, say for me, I'm in Seattle. If I need to get some fruit from Florida or veggies from Florida, that means that everything's picked before it's really ripe. And so that means that, the nutrients aren't as dense. That means that, the flavor and all of those types of things are compromised because everything was picked prior to being, ripe. So when it's close by, though, you may have just an hour or two of travel versus 5 days versus a month, so when we're eating local and you become a locavore, you're getting freshness, flavor, and nutritional content that is just better than something other than that. The other thing is you can cut down on your grocery bill. So what's interesting too, and I've noticed this with beets, because we eat a lot of beets, that the prices of beets go up and down, and they drop when beets are in season. And the quality of the beets is incredible when they're in season. But when they're out of season, the price skyrockets and the beets just aren't as good. They just don't. They're just not. They're smaller. They don't have the flavor, all of those kinds of things. So another example is Brussels sprouts and watermelon. If you want watermelon in December, here in the Pacific Northwest, you're going to pay a lot of money for that versus, it fresh. And so in that regard, you can save a lot of money by eating foods that are in season. And so learning about that is going to be very beneficial. So let's see. The other great part about eating local is we support our local farms, right? And our local markets. So money that we're spending in our local markets, our farmers markets and things, is then supporting our local communities versus a really massive conglomerate of a corporation and all of the trucking and all of those things. So if we do buy at a local market, local produce, then we are actually, the money that we're spending is going right back into our communities. So I love that part. And it's fun at markets too, especially if you go often, you can build relationships with those that are bringing the produce to say a Saturday market or a fresh market. So again, it's just a great way to even learn about, where your food came from, and having that wonderful conversation with somebody. So the other thing is that, it just helps us, have the ability to, get food that's safe and local. Okay. One way you can do this too, I don't know if you've heard of a CSA, but that's a community supported agriculture program. And you can find out where and how to get involved with one. It's called localharvest.org/CSA/. And there you can find out about joining a CSA. And so what it means is that a group of people are investing in, a local farm or a collection of regional farms. Okay. And then all that food is paid for in bulk. And then everyone in that CSA shares the food. And so it gets delivered to you. And so go ahead and check out that link. Like I said, it's localharvest.org/CSA. And then another /. And, but this is a way to get produce locally, delivered to you, or you can pick them up depending on how they run. And then I understand too that some farms offer half shares and sliding scales as well. And again, you're supporting your local community, and produce is traveling a couple hours, maybe less, depending on where you live. The other benefit of, being a locavore or buying local is better taste. I think I covered that a little bit, but already, but when you are eating something from a local region that's just been picked, like I said, oh my gosh, the flavor is incredible. And so I noticed that again when I started growing garden with my sister. And it's just funny. I was overwhelmed by the whole thought of it. It just wasn't something I thought I could do. And still sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, but the reward is great. We'll just pull a radish out of the garden, dust it off and eat it. And the radishes are incredible. I'll be sitting in there, I'll be hungry at the garden. And I'm like, oh, I have all this food around me and I can just pull off a leaf of spinach or lettuce and it tastes better than pretty much anything I could find at the store. So, and the other part here is, again, the benefit of buying local and being a locavore is, again, better nutrition value. Again, so the food's not getting picked before it's ripe and before it's had the opportunity to, get all of its nutrients. So, basically our local harvested food is almost always higher in antioxidants, it's higher in vitamins and folate, and carotenoids and all of those things. So, like a fresh carrot, coming right out of the ground compared to one that's been ripening in a truck, or trying to finish its growth spurt in a truck or cut short. So, another benefit again of local is that you can most likely be able to find some, how do I want to say this? Because this is one of those subjects I think we're still working on in agriculture, is knowing what they're putting on produce to get it shipped, really far away to stop it from spoiling. So, basically when fruits and veggies are forced to grow outside of their natural season, farmers can use chemicals and other unnatural methods to ensure the out of season harvest meets the cosmetic standards that, we would expect the produce to be like. And so it's scary to think that sometimes that some of these foods are gassed or treated with radiation and preserved in wax. So to get their shelf life longer. And so again, why it's so great to buy local. Also, if we buy foods from overseas, we really don't have control over what they're putting on those. So by buying local, we don't have the concern of contaminants that we are not sure of. So they can be using pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, on plants and the land and the soil. And that's just another big thing that I can get on my soapbox about, is just why is agriculture one of the most dangerous industries in the world? And that's the food we eat. It just doesn't make sense to me. So when we have the opportunity to buy local, we know who our farmers are, things like that. We have the opportunity to not ingest and have those things possibly get inside of our bodies. So again, by eating things that are shipped from overseas, we just don't know really what we're getting, right? So that's another reason you want to be a locavore. Environmental benefits are incredible too. Again, we think about big container ships coming across, bringing us food, hauling big, semi trucks across country, all of that, trying to make the food transfer back and forth. When if we buy local, again, the transportation is ours and minimal. Okay. So here we go. So how do you know what's in season? How do you know? So in North America right now, going into summer, we have a lot of great stuff. So here's just an idea. So for us in North America, we've got apricots, plums, cherries, cantaloupe, bananas, mangoes, honeydew, melon, blackberries, nectarines, strawberries, raspberries, watermelon, peaches, tomatoes, passion fruit, other melon, lemon, and lime. So that's a lot of great stuff. And if there's something on that list you haven't tried, definitely do that. And then vegetables here we're looking at, and this is kind of fun because some of these we have in our garden, my sister and I, but radishes, arugula, cucumber, beets, bell peppers, carrot, zucchini, garlic, green beans, okra, summer squash, corn, and rhubarb are just examples. So, again, go ahead. I would think you can go ahead wherever you're at, find out, go online, your local, whatever your local season it is. I know South America, they're going into their winter, so they're going to have different produce available than we do. So again, it's so interesting to me, how do we make the most of what is offered to us in our seasons? And I found it's easy for me to take it for granted what produce we can get anytime, any day. But I love this idea. How can I, because I'm eating local, again, extend my relationship with my food a bit differently, and realize that there's something more I can learn, right? So I know my sisters used to do this. They would go berry picking in the summer, so can you go berry picking and in the summer, or when fall comes, go apple picking and get an idea of what that's like, where's that coming from, and just have a fun day learning about it, and then bringing that food home and turning it into jams or jellies or, something fun, and also preserving it. So anyway, again, when you're doing stuff like that, where you're in touch with where your food's coming from, just creates a I don't know, I guess I appreciate it. And I understand where it came from. And then when I'm eating it, I just have a different thought process. And then also I think here too, with COVID, what happened is a lot of people started growing more of their own food, inside. Gosh, I have a friend, she's got an Insta garden or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but she's growing amazing stuff inside. And then, like I said, my sister and I have a garden, but a lot of people started growing their own food. And I think that's just incredible. So right now too, if you wanted to in your kitchen, you can start with just some herbs, so like rosemary, thyme, basil, and mint. Maybe do a little flower pot or something like that, just to get an idea. Small, if you have a yard, you can make a little, planter box and start. So that way too, it just changes, I think, too, the way I look at my food. I know what it was when I put it in the ground, and then I saw it grow, and then I have this amazing, amazing food. So the other interesting part I found when we're trying to eat seasonally, it really forces us to change our palate a little bit. If we can stay consistent with it and say, okay, I'm not going to have watermelon, even though it's in the store and it's, December, I'm going to try and find something maybe that's in season and see if I can learn new ways of preparing foods that are in season. So it's just another way to learn something new. And I'm a believer in lifelong learning. So yeah. So again, eating locally can force us to have to, think outside our normal rut of what we eat and things like that. Also, if you can buy in bulk, sometimes you can buy in bulk and you can share with family and friends. So that's a great way to go too. Buying in bulk and then split it amongst friends. So if you're out there and you see big vats of organic strawberries, you have the opportunity to bring those home for somebody, and that just makes it fun as well. And let me see here. Lost my note. Yeah, so I think I already talked about that. Expanding our palates and trying new things is a great example. One thing I loved when I was in school was when you do go to the produce section, see if you can find something that you've never tried before. Is there a vegetable or a fruit maybe you don't know much about, and get your phone out and you can Google it and find out where it's from, and that can help you decide what to buy or just what to do there. There is a website. There's a seasonal guide that you can use, and it's just www.seasonalfoodguide.org. Again, seasonalfoodguide.org/. And that'll help you find local foods as well that you may not, um, have thought about that you can try. Anyway, so today it was a kind of an easy, tough love Tuesday. Um, I had a lot of fun kind of looking up this information and stuff, but yeah, if we can eat local and we can eat in season, it's just great for your health. It's great for our environment. It's wonderful for our communities. We can support them with our dollars and can go back into our communities. So I do want to thank, I had several websites I used for this. I went to seasonalfoodguide.org and also Mind Body Green and Reboot with Joe and Go Green. Those websites I utilized as well to help me with this. And so, so see what you can do this summer, or if you're in a different region, look at what your seasonal veggies and fruits are right now and see what you can do about incorporating that. And then for me, I know I'm going to have to get some discipline to try and stay sometimes within the local region. I mean, my mind just for fun was like, but what about oranges? They're from Florida and I'm up in Washington. How am I supposed to get Florida oranges? So anyway, gotta love it. So, but I know I'm going to do a little bit more effort in this department and to eat local and in season. And with that, that's all I got tonight. I hope everyone has a great evening. And again, be sure to check out the podcast. It's on, it's Your Personal Journey with Food podcast. It's on most podcast platforms at this time. And if you are there and you are enjoying the podcast, please go ahead and like them or follow me. That helps a great deal. And have a wonderful week. And message me, like I always say, you can always message me with any comments or questions. And I'm here to help out. Talk to you soon.